Hey everybody, it's Tracking Pat here, and this is part 2 of the KMX series that we're making to give you a little better idea on how this control actually works in the programming mode. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start out by going to Program, and you do have the ability to name a program. So if you have one of those older controls that you're replacing with the KMX, then you will have the ability to name the program. I would suggest that you probably have a keyboard that you can plug into one of the USB ports. It's easier than using the one that we have. But just so you know, we have an alpha matrix here, and you can call out each letter and enter them one by one to name your program. It does have a scaling function because we're in 2-axis mode, so you can change that if you need to change the size of the part. And last but not least, down here, you have the ability to input your Z dimensions. So the reason you would do that is mainly when you're using the part verification and you want to see what the part's going to look like as a solid model. So in here, I would say yes, and then from there, I would say go to beginning. Okay, so in here, first of all, I kind of gave an overview earlier in a different video, but we have all of our drilling cycles here, straight line milling, arc milling, any kind of pocket, any kind of profile, and then our subroutines and our copies. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is a product or a print that you've seen a million times probably, which is the one we affectionately call the Ballpark, and I'm going to show you how simple it is to make it on the KMX control. So first of all, I'm going to start out by doing some drilling. So I go to Positions and Drills, and you notice I have either a single position or a bolt hole pattern. This is a bolt hole pattern. So I select that, and it says how many holes are there. So there's 5 holes, followed by the absolute key. The center of the hole pattern is 0, 0, right? The radius is 1.25. The angle is 45 degrees. And then the Z end would be how deep I want to go, right? So that part's 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to say 0.3. I'm not going to center drill. I know you guys know how to do that. I'm going to do all of this with tool number 1. Once I finish that, it shifts over to the page on the left, says, what do you want to do next? The next thing I would do is I would say, okay, I need to make a pocket. So I would select pocket. And then it gives me the options of whether it's a circle, a rectangle, an irregular shaped pocket, or a face mill. So these are some of the functions that are either different or new if you're upgrading from an older control. In our case, it's a circular pocket. The center is at 0, 0. The radius is 3/4 of an inch. The direction, you still get the pop-up menus in the green boxes, so I would go 2 for counterclockwise. I can put in a finish cut, 10 thousandths. I can give it a feed rate, give it a finished feed rate, tell it the Z depth is -0.2, and then I'm going to use tool number 2. Now it's important for everybody to understand that even though I'm putting in the Z dimensions, all that's really going to do is when I'm in the run mode, it's going to give me a prompt and say, hey, bring the cutter down to -0.2. It's not going to know whether you did it or not. It's just giving you a readout and an instruction to do so. Okay? So if I look so far, I've got a hole pattern with a circle in the middle, right? And if I push that again, it'll go away and let me continue to program. So the next thing I'm going to do is make a profile. And when I go to Profile, I have circle profiles, rectangular profiles, and irregular profiles. This will be an irregular shape, so I need to start somewhere. So as you're following along on the print, you're going to see that I'm going to start at the very top, which is going to be absolute 0 in X and 2.45 inches in Y. And now the prop-up is asking me, do you want to have the tool on the center, the right, or the left? Just like all the other ProtoTRAK controls work. So I've always climbed milling, so I'm going to put the tool on the left. I'm going to leave a finish cut of 10 thousandths again. It remembers my previous feed rates, so I'm going to use the same feed rates, and I'm going to use a different Z dimension, so -0.3 again to get past the end of the part, and it's all done with tool number 2. Okay? So what that does, if I push the look button, is gives me a starting point. You can see it right there on the screen. And it's asking me, is my next move going to be a straight line or a curved line? So I've got an arc to program. The direction of the arc by the box here is going to be 1 for clockwise. It's going to end at absolute 0. It's going to the negative side of the radius, which is -2.45. And the center of the arc is 0, 0. So you'll notice up here in the upper right corner, there's a button that just turned green that says OK. It's saying I've got all the information I need. We're going to cover AGE programming in a little different video after this. So for now, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but keep in mind that in every one of these events, if you don't have enough information, you can tell it the geometry of the part or that part of it, and it'll help you solve all of the math questions. But in this case, I'm just going to page forward, and if I look, there's my arc, and now I've got a milling event, and it's going to ask me, is this milling event tangent to the other? Again, that's an AGE feature that helps you figure out missing dimensions. I have all the dimensions on this print, so I'm just going to say it's not tangent. My X is going to that dimension of minus 3.064. And my Y dimension is going to 0.5045. And you got the OK light again. It's asking me if I want to put a Conrad. And as you can see on the print, it's showing that it's blended with a 0.841 radius. Again, I don't need the geometry question, so I page forward. That gives me this. And the last thing I'm going to do is one more milling event, which is not tangent to the previous. And I'm going back to where I was, which is 0 and 2.45 inches. So if I push the look button one more time, you'll see there's my completed part. The next thing that I would do would be to page forward one more time and just say end AGE. Okay, what that does is it completes that process and gives me the ability to do something else. But in our case, this is already finished. So now I'm going to hit the mode key and I'm going to go to the setup mode. And in here I've got my tool table. So in my tool table, I'm going to describe my two tools, right? So my first tool is just going to be my 1/4 inch drill bit. They do call that the base tool. So if I'm actually using my tool lengths, I can set that. Most of the time in 2-axis, we just use the DIRO to set them, okay? There is a modifier in there if needed, but I don't need that. And then you do get a tool description page that shows up. And this is a center drill, which would be number 2. The next thing it's asking me is for the second tool. Let's say I'm using a 1/2 inch end mill. So put in my diameter. I'm not going to change anything in lengths here. I am going to tell it it's a finish end mill, which is number 4. And when I push return, now I can see the tool path of the part. So from here you can see from the center of the tool how it spirals out to make the pocket, how it moves to the outside to make the ballpark shape, right? We also have a feature in here that's called Verify Part. Verify Part on the KMX works a little different than it does on our high-end models. So what it does allow me to do, though, is describe the actual shape of my stock. So I'm going to say that my stock, one corner is -3 and -3. The bottom is a 1/2 inch. The other corner is a +3 and +3. And the top is Z0. What that does is it gives me the ability that when I go to make part, to show how it's going to do this, right? So it's going to show me the block I just described. And when I say show part, it's going to calculate everything that I told it to do in the programming, and it's going to show you what your part should look like in the end. As you can see right there is my completed part, and I can see whether or not I did anything right or wrong. In this case, it looks just exactly what I would expect. So from there, I would just hit exit and say, yes, I'm sure I want to exit. And from there, all I got left to do is go find my part 0, grab my tools, and cut the part. So this gives you a basic idea of how simple it is to use the KMX control. It shows you that it's very similar to some of the previous controls, and it's also going to be a very useful product to have in your tool room. I hope this helps you out a lot. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, remember to keep on tracking.